Hello, all. My name is Pavan Kumar and welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, today in this particular video we are going to discuss about the primary key and the null values in MySQL. Okay. So before we begin our main topic, if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. Okay. So in our previous playlist, we have seen how to create the database and how to create the table and how to insert the values into the table and how to delete the table and how to delete the database. Okay, so today in this particular video we are going to see the primary key and also how to handle the null values in MySQL. Okay, so before we discuss about the primary key and the null values, now as usual, first let's try to create the database. We'll try to use the same database which we have used earlier so that it will be easy for us to understand and continue our topic. So create database employee underscore details. So I will just copy paste all this so that we can move ahead for primary key. Okay, create table employee underscore create table employee. So this contains the columns like employee ID, employee. Okay, so what I will do is here I will give it as auto increment. Okay, in order to understand primary key. Okay, so I will tell you what exactly the primary key and we'll try to understand. Okay, so we have created the table, we have created the database employee underscore details, we have created the table emp, and we have used the primary key here. So now let's try to execute this query. Okay, so primary key is basically it will identify the unique values in a table base. Okay, for example, here you can see the table contains different columns like employee ID, employee name, employee salary and all. Okay, so here whenever I am trying to insert the values, so as I have given already employee ID as a primary key, so whenever I am inserting the values into the particular table, there I will not be using employee ID because I have given employee ID as a auto increment. Okay, so as and when I will try to insert the values, it will automatically take the employee ID, guys. Okay, and each employee ID will be unique because the primary key is employee ID and it will identify the values in that particular table uniquely. Okay, so previously what we have done is whenever we have to insert the values, we have given the values. For example, here I have given employee ID as 10 and here I have given employee ID as 12. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll try to insert the values by using employee ID as a primary key, and here I won't be using employee ID because it will auto increment and it will be a primary key. Okay, so let's see with an example how exactly it works. Okay, so here I have given insert into employee name, employee salary. Okay, so I will try to execute this. So now let's try to insert one more value. I will copy this and I will paste it here, and here I will give it as Manoj, and his salary will be around 3,500. I will execute this. And now I will try to insert one more value. So here I will give it as Rajesh, and his salary will be around some 4,500. I will try to execute this, and we'll try to insert one more, and here I will give it as Johnson. Okay, and his salary would be null. So null means it doesn't mean like the value 0. So null means it's basically the value is missing. Okay, so what we'll do is like here we'll see like how to handle the missing value. Okay, so I will try to execute this. Okay, so now let's try to see like what are the columns present in the table and what are the values in those table. Select star from EMP. Okay, now let's try to run this query. So here you can see employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Okay, so even though I have not given the employee ID, but still it is showing as 1 2 3 4 because I have given employee ID as an integer, and I have also given it as an auto increment. Okay, and it's a primary key, and the each value is identified uniquely. Okay, so the no employee ID is repeated here. You can see 1 2 3 4. Okay, so for Johnson the salary is showing as null. Okay, since the value is not present here and it's showing it as null. So now let's try to see like how to impute the value for that null value. Okay, so what I will do is like, so just try to remember the employee ID of that particular person whose salary is mentioned it as null. Okay, so the employee ID is mentioned it as 4. Okay, so now what I will do is like I will try to update the value for that particular null value. Okay, so what I will do is like update EMP set EMP underscore salary is equal to, I will give it as some 8,500, where EMP underscore ID is equal to, so what was the ID guys? I think that is employee ID was 4, and I will give it as semicolon. Okay, so now let's try to run this particular query, and now let's try to recall this query, and now let's see like how exactly the table looks. Before the value was null for Johnson for his salary. So now you can see like the Johnson salary has been updated as 8,500 because here I have updated the salary for that particular employee, where the employee ID is equal to 4 because the employee ID of Johnson is 4. Okay, so this is how you impute the null values in MySQL. So it's quite different from the way you try to impute the values in Python and whenever you are doing any machine learning project. Okay, so this is how we impute the values in MySQL, where the value is null value, and this is how we use the primary key. So primary key means it's basically it will identify the values uniquely. Okay, and whenever you use auto increment, even though you don't give the values manually whenever you are trying to insert the values, so it will auto increment the value. Okay, so that's all about this particular video guys. I hope you like this particular video. Please just subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. See you in all. Thank you. Bye bye.